All right, Corinne. So where were you at before you started the program?
In a dark place. I was dealing with trying to heal from a car accident and dealing with my ex-husband who was verbally abusing me. Never hit me,
Mm,
but used to throw things in my directions.
yikes.
Yeah, so it was brutal, and my head wasn't clear.
Yep.
And finally in August, I was like, I saw your ad and I went, yeah, it's time. It is
Yep.
time to get your life back, Corinne. This is not you. This is not you at all. And I was like, "Well, you know what? I got to reach out to this person." And I did. I was like, little hesitant. I was,
Yep.
like everybody was. Everybody was hesitant.
Yep.
But I was like, you know what? Uh-uh. This is not my life. I'm always on track. I was always into fitness.
Yep.
The accident,
Yep.
did a step back for me, took a toll on me. But I was like, nope, got to get back on track. And that's what I did. And this program basically prepared me for the year I was going to have in
Mm,
2025 because
right.
was, I'll say a year from hell. It really was. It was a year from hell for me.
Mm. You went through a lot. You definitely last year you went through a lot. And I would say that again, building your physical strength, I saw your mindset and your mental strength. You always were strong mentally. I mean, from just our conversations and what you had been through before this, we always knew that you were strong mentally. But I think going through the physical challenges that you went through after returning from the accident, and then also going through the physical changes that you actually saw, losing the weight and getting stronger and being able to improve in your endurance and just your ability to not get dizzy, doing the longer bouts of exercise that helped you as well mentally prepare for what was to come. But what was frustrating you the most before you started with us? Like, what was it that was like the most frustrating part? And was there like a time that you decided that it was time, like enough was enough? I need to make a change. I need to join this program. Because like you said, we saw my ad, but what was that moment that was like, I need to do something? And what was so frustrating about that time in your life?
Looking at myself in the mirror and seeing how,
Mm,
how fat I got. That
mm,
was a wake-up call. And then me binge eating because I never binge eat. Like
mm.
it was just like, and I'm not a sweets person. And I was just, with all the stress with my ex and then the accident, it was just, I was taking food and I was just like scoffing it down my throat. And I was like, and then when I saw your ad and then like the stories, and I went, that's it, we're done. We are getting on track now.
Right. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that you felt like a sense of confidence through the stories. But you said you were nervous. What made you so nervous about joining?
Because you hear about all these scams on internet. So I was like, is this guy serious? Like like everybody says,
Yep.
is this really a true? Is this a gimmick? But I said, you know what? I need to get my life back together and I'm gonna take a chance. And it was the best decision I ever made.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. I know you and I spoke before we hit record about some of the things that have helped, but what has been the biggest help in the program, or maybe a couple things that have helped you go from that place you're at, that dark place, to where you're at right now?
The mindset clinics. The mindset clinics,
Yep. You don't miss those.
no, I don't. I love them. Even though I'm working late, I still get on it.
Yes.
The mindset clinics, the one-on-one coaching,
Mm.
learning the nutrition, and just the workouts are so easy to follow. Like
Yep.
it's just everything is there for you, and and then I can always reach out to you. I could always reach out to Tracy if there's like a silly question I gotta ask, and you guys don't think I'm crazy. You just
We don't
answer
think
my
you're crazy. No,
crazy
we
question.
don't. We don't. You might think that we're crazy, but we don't think that you're crazy.
You just answer my crazy questions.
Of course, that's what we're here for. So, what results have you experienced so far?
Well, now I'm finally seeing toning. Finally getting to see the toning.
Right.
Um,
After a lot of weight loss.
yes, my weight loss, which my goal was 130, and now I'm, what, 119? So I
Yes. Yes.
passed my goal,
Yes. Where did you start at?
162.
That is, whoa, that's 43 pounds. So congratulations. And you've maintained that.
Yes.
And now the toning aspect of it. So I guess as well, the weight loss, the toning, and then for sure coming back from the accident, you had dizzy spells and things like that too, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of dizzy spells I was having. It took me 2 years to get back to walking 5 miles. I mean, I'll never forget the neurologist look me straight in the face and go, "You're not going to be able to walk 5 miles with your six bulging disc and your dizzy spells." And I looked at him, smiled, and I went, "Watch me, watch me." And he knew from that point I was about to prove his ass wrong.
This lady's not messing around, of
No,
course.
he knew it. He saw I was getting severely dizzy when the stress level with my ex. That's what got him alarmed because he's like, you need to really calm your body down.
Mm,
And and then going on to the VIP thing, that's how I was calming myself down, watching everybody work out. And I was like, okay, I shift my mind to get off the stress, what that was going on, and then focus on what I was doing.
right. And that I remember we had talked about that before because we've done some mindset clinics where you've been the guest, and I remember we had talked, and you're like, if I don't feel motivated or I feel stressed out, I'll just go into the group, the private group where all the community's at, and I'll watch them, and it like lifts you up. It makes you feel more
It does.
positive and things like that. It does, right? And why do you think that is? Why do you think it is so uplifting for you personally?
Because it's my passion, being healthy and now my mother being sick again, it's I got her on a health track with me and
Yeah.
it's so I have my good days and I have my bad days with her,
Yeah.
but I always make time for myself because I learned from the program you have to make time for yourself. You can't help somebody else if you don't help yourself. So
Oh yeah,
I
for sure.
take a little bit of time for myself.
Yeah. That's something we harp on heavily in the mindset clinic is um, you can't pour from an empty cup. You know, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And I think so many, especially the ladies in our program, they come to us and they are just they just do so much of everybody else and kind of put themselves in the back burner. So for you, what was one of the things as far as results that you saw that maybe you didn't expect when joining the program?
Just my mindset shifted.
Mm.
It just
Yeah,
shifted.
you thought this was all about just fitness and all that kind of stuff, huh?
Yeah. And it's just watching the mind. Honestly, watching those first mindset clinics,
Yep.
it opened my eyes to what was going on with my ex. Like that.
Mhm.
And then with everything was going on with the accident, trying to heal from the accident. But these mindset clinics were like, I can't explain it. Like it was like my passion. I had to sit, I had to listen to them because it was now what was foggy in my head,
Yep.
basically, what was going on, it was now shifting to saying, Corinne, open your eyes. You have a bigger problem on your hands. And when my ex took my wedding picture and smashed it to the ground,
Mm.
and I almost got hit with glass, I went, "You're done. You
Mm.
are completely done." And that
Mm.
was from the mindset because my mindset was like, Corinne, stop doing this. You got to focus on this. And that's what I did.
Mm. Wow, that's that's definitely one of those moments that is scary for sure. But it sounds like you went from the place of like not noticing some of the issues to really being like, why am I being treated like this? Or why is, I don't deserve this necessarily. It seemed like you kind of built up a little bit more maybe confidence or maybe self-esteem, or maybe just you just stood up for yourself finally, is what it kind of sounds like to me.
Well, it was. I built up my confidence. Like I don't wear crop tops, and now I'm wearing crop tops
Hey,
and shorts again.
let's go. Let's go. I love
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
it was just I knew what was going on, but my head, because of the accident, was not processing what was going on, basically. Like I don't know if I'm explaining that right. Like it
Right.
was
Yeah. You weren't connecting the
connecting.
dots.
I wasn't connecting what was going on.
Right.
But then being part of the program, it was starting to connect. Like the pieces were starting to fit the puzzle.
Mm.
That's why it was, even though I was getting stressed out what was going on, I had the fitness group to back me up and say, okay, yeah, you're going through this, but we're behind you. Like I never had people behind me. Like it was whatever I was going through, it was just me. Like
Right.
I had to figure it out, and
Right.
I had to, it took me time to process that I had a fitness group behind me and helping me
Right.
through things. So
Right.
with the mindset clinic, it was like, okay, Corinne, stop having a wall build up, open that wall so people can help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I started doing.
I love that. I freaking love that. And you kind of just opened up to the group. And I think that's wonderful. I think that's absolutely wonderful. And we try and create that safe space and that safe environment for people to feel like they can do that because the reality is I think people really crave that. They crave a place where they can go and they're not going to be judged. They're not going to be, feel less than. They're going to feel like they're welcome and they're going to feel like they can be open because we
You
don't
don't
look at you any,
judge.
yeah, we don't look at you any different way. You're here. We want to have your back, we want to support you. And so I love the fact that you've seen not only the physical changes, but the mental changes, and you really built up your confidence from this. So how would you say how would you say that you think differently, I guess, or feel differently compared to when you first started? You kind of alluded to that when we were just talking about like how would you feel like you feel differently today versus then? You probably wouldn't even recognize yourself. Like if we took you back to Corinne from, when you started at the end of 2024 till now, you probably wouldn't even recognize yourself. So what do you think you feel is different now?
I have a lot of confidence, and I have the support I need. Like I like I can reach out to you, I can reach out to someone else and be like, hey, like with my mother when we found out she had cancer, like I literally just opened up and was like, please send me prayers because
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Like I need help. And it was, if I was back in 2024 doing this myself, it was I would close myself in and just soak everything in, which I still do. But now at the same time, I'm opening myself up and saying, please help. Like I can't do this by myself. Like it's just too much. It's too much for me to handle. And, like I know the fitness group will open up and they have. Like they were sending me prayers and it was a hard time, with my mother being sick again. And just to have that is a blessing because I never had that. It was always Corinne, 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 do this yourself, do it yourself. Now it's, I don't recognize myself because now I can say, hey, I need help. Can you please help me with something?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
get the help.
I love that. And I think a lot of people struggle with that because of whatever reason they have these kind of mental blocks, or they feel like, again, like they're going to be judged, or they have these bad experiences in the past and they kind of shut down and they close themselves off, and then they seclude themselves, and then they disappear for like a month or 2 months, and then they don't get the help they need, or they come back and they're just not, they never really overcame the struggles because they were afraid to reach out for help. And so if you're someone, if you were speaking to someone who's in the same position that you were in when you first started, what would you tell them? Looking for help, they need to get healthy, they're looking for support. What would you tell them if maybe they're thinking about joining the program, or they have seen the post and they're kind of considering it, but they're a little bit on the fence or afraid?
Go for it. Because I mean, everyone looks at me and they're like, you're a different person. Like
Mm,
I don't give a shit about anything. No, I don't give a shit about anything, but like I don't take shit from anybody anymore. Like I'm not a doormat. I
right.
used to like, it was, I mean, the accident changed me. It really, really took a
Yeah,
toll
yeah,
on me. It really changed me. And my mindset was shifted towards negative. Like, with my ex abusing me, it was constantly negative, negative, negative. But then when I joined the program, it was shifting to being positive. And I learned that from the group. I learned that from Tracy. I learned that from you. I learned that from the community. Like,
yeah,
yeah, you can have a bad day, but there's always the next day, like
yeah.
and that wasn't me. That was like, okay, well, this is shit happened. Now what do I do? Like it was just like it was always close myself in, figure this out. Now I can open up. And
Hmm.
that's what I learned from the program is just to people are here for you. Like don't keep your emotions to yourself because you're gonna bottle them up and you're gonna,
Right.
you know, just hurt yourself even more.
Right, right, 100%. Yeah, I love that. And I think that's great advice. That's great advice. So if you are watching this and you're someone who is struggling with your health, struggling to have support, struggling to kind of get to be the person that you want to be and have the confidence that Corinne is talking about here, then just type the word help down below and we'll reach out and see if you'd be a good fit. But Corinne was in a similar spot, struggled, and look at her now. And so if you need help, don't be afraid to reach out because we're always here to help. Any final thoughts, Corinne, for anybody watching this?
Take the chance. It's the best decision. And if you're really on board and you want to get healthy, this is the fitness group to go for. Because
Love it.
I love this group and it's a blessing. It was the biggest blessing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, you're a blessing to the group, and we're proud to have you a part of it. And you're a leader in the community. You inspire many people, Corinne. So never forget that. But yeah, if you're watching this and you want some help, type help down below, and we'll reach out. All right.